carnally, our body dies, but we never really die. So by us keeping the word and keeping the Lord's statutes and commandments, we will never die. Even though we might die the carnal death, but spiritual we never die. But if you do the opposite, pretty much you're gonna die to death. Not just the carnal death, also the spiritual death.
All right. You got something to say?
Yeah, just pretty much. I think what the brother said was on point. And with when it says, his life, the first life, it's just talking about. I would just write it down in my notes just to keep it as simple as possible. If you're even trying to share this with someone else, that first life in the verse is talking about the life of this world. Then when he says, "He that loseth his life," that's talking about the life of this world again. "For my sakes, the same shall save it." That's talking about the life of what? The world to come. Because we live in this life now, which is, Satan's domain. And when you prosper in this life, you got to do wickedly to really prosper like that. So we try to save this life, which is what? Corruptible. You'll lose it. But now if you lose this life for Christ's sake, to take on the incorruptible in this corruptible life, you'll save it. And you'll live forevermore in the kingdom, in the life to come, which is, in the world to come. And you read the verse 25, it goes right along with it, but we didn't get there yet. But yeah, that's just me explaining the words within the verse specifically. But the examples of Brother Poole were on point as far as the understanding what this verse is saying, what Christ is telling us.
All right. Well, move on. Verse 27. I'm sorry, verse 26. I'm sorry, verse 25. "For what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away?" For what's the advantage? To gain the whole world that we know, and lose himself or be cast away. "For whosoever shall be ashamed of me, of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he shall come in his own glory, and his Father's, and of the holy angels." So why would Yahusha even put the scripture here? That people would be ashamed of him.
Oh, I got a verse too. It just came to mind. But the goal we were reading before about finding his life shall lose it, losing his life for my sake shall find it. This is 2 Timothy 2:3 down to 5. Once again, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3 down to 5. And it reads, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach." Because we know we're an exceeding great army. It tells that in Revelations 11. As we come back, we're part of that number. It says in verse 4, "No man that warreth," talking about the spiritual warfare, we went into that last chapter, understand the enemy, which is Satan, and the 3 techniques he uses, "entangled himself with the affairs of this life." So that's the life Christ is talking about as far as finding your life. Finding this life, you'll lose it. You say, "Oh, I gotta latch on to this." Like you would say, I gotta do me. I gotta make that money. I'll come back to the truth later. You're gonna lose it in all your efforts. You're gonna lose in that process. "That he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier." That he may please him that have chosen to be a soldier. Who chose him? Christ on the Most High's behalf. "If any man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully." So you want to strive for masteries in this, developing your spiritual gifts, your fruits of the Spirit. You're not going to be crowned like how Christ is already crowned, and those that will rule with him will be crowned, except he strive lawfully. So that right there, let you know in the New Testament that we still got to be dealing with the laws of the Most High for sure. And until we read those and apply those to our lives, and like you said earlier, brother, it becomes just second nature to do the law of the Most High. You know, that's the only way it's going to happen.
It says 26. For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he shall come in his own glory, and in his Father's and of the holy angels. So another aspect of people being ashamed of the Most High is some people don't want to talk about Yahushua.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people don't even mention Yahushua in their sentence. Observe it. People would rather say God rather than say Christ. Anywhere you turn around. From your dignitaries to the small man walking in the street. Rarely do you hear, you know, outside of Christianity, you hear the word Christ mentioned. Even, let's say, the presidents. Have you ever hear Yahushua, being mentioned in any speech? No, because the name of Christ is it's a shame to even speak about Yahushua on that level. Picture Obama said Christ, the Son of God, in one of his speech, or saying, you know, on record, saying God bless America in the name of Christ. That would be...
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, everybody know this.
Come on, man.
Oh, what?
Wow. Wow.
So that's the name of Christ being shamed, you know, in the eyes of the world.
Yeah, that'd be make the front page. So he's not a Muslim.
Then somebody will be cutting them John 17:9 and Amos 9:8. See, he's saying he just using that just to win back some votes.
Now, somebody was going around.
Political move.
Yeah.
Christian
Right.
vote.
Somebody was going around healing people, doing miracles everywhere, but you would rather hear they mention Plato, Aristotle, Socrates. They will mention these people, but they won't mention Christ.
Except when they get burned. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying.
They won't mention
I'm not
Christ.
meaning that as a joke, what I just said, but that's basically
That's what
how you would hear
But it's
Christ's
becoming-
name whenever somebody get burned.
It's become a slogan now. It's just something people say. You know, even atheists saying that. Oh,
Christ's
Jesus Christ, we really
Right. They saying this not in a sense to you know,
glorify him.
glorify him or exalt him, but in the sense, you know, just a cliche.
Right.
It's just something people say.
Right.
Yeah. And they even switch it up too. I even heard, you know, what in the bowels of Christ you talking about? Like
Right.
bowels of Christ. You guys updated
What
it now.
the heck?
Never heard that before?
I never heard of that. Bowels of Christ?
Yeah, what in the
Right.
bowels
What
of
is
Christ?
that? A homosexual comment towards our Messiah?
Right. Verse
Just-
27.
I don't know if I'm going into all that, but
Luke 9 and 20.
They always go left for his, yo.
Luke 9 and 27. But I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you of a truth. There be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the kingdom of the Most High. So what is going on here?
Stumbling block. Huh?
What was that?
Verse 27.
I did it, huh?
But I'll tell you of a truth. There be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the kingdom of the Most High. Picture this. Picture this back then. Yahushua standing there. We all here. We all in front of Yahushua. And he said, there shall be some of you standing here will not taste of death until you see me come. So now fast forward many thousands of years after Yahushua said this, Yahushua still ain't back yet, but we're reading this right here. What's going on here? Because he's telling the people, you standing here right now, you see you standing right now when he was speaking to them, you're not going to taste death until I show up. What is that going on here?
Yeah! Either you got to look for a small group of men who's over 2,000 years old like crazy, you know, or you just have to believe that, you know, the people that, the spirit, you know, the spirit in that person, it returns back. You know what I'm saying? It returns back to the Most High. So when you're born again, that spirit is back. So when Yahweh comes in the second glory, those people they're going to be around because that spirit's going to come right back into that body, and they're going to be around to see Yahweh come. They may not be called James, they may not be called John, but they may have names like Bill or Patrick. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, but they were going to be around. What's wrong with you?
What? That's what happened the last part.
They may call Carl White. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Carl White.
Yo, I got a real popular name,
Yeah.
right?
Carl Edom White.
And it might be me.
Carl
You
Edom
talking
White.
about the 1/3?
No, we're talking about the 2/3 now.
2/3.
So that
I
again,
don't know if we all understand, but good.
it's a parable. Right? It's a parable for those who don't understand.
That's the one that the Mormons, be careful, Mormons try to use that. Mormons will try to use that. Oh, see, you got to understand, when Christ said that, those people died. They just don't understand.
They just don't understand
And-
the parable.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what this is, though? It's, well, I'll let you finish first, I'm sorry.
No, you got it.
Don't forget what you have to say.
But what we're pretty much dealing with is physical death versus spiritual death. Remember the second death that people are going to utterly be destroyed in when Christ makes the second coming? That's what he's referring to here. It's just like when certain men were trying to follow Christ and they said, oh, Christ, I got to bury, my mother and my father. He said, hold on, let the dead bury the dead. Like most people don't understand what he's saying. But he's talking spiritual versus physical. He's saying let the spiritually dead bury the physically dead. Right? That's what he's talking about here. Because like you brother said, we know we come back in the spirit, but now what we do determines whether we live or die spiritually as opposed to physically. As far as following the truth according to Christ or not. So when it says there'd be some standing here which should not taste death till they see the kingdom of God, that's going toward the second death, which comes along with the first resurrection. Meaning what? Just like he's always said, many are called, few were chosen. So, that's the 2/3 club right there, along with any heathen. Well, yeah, pretty much the heathen in general. Save the ones that are saved for slavery in the kingdom.
Go on.
So
Now-
that's what's going into.
Wait. I'm not quite there yet.
Okay. Which part?
It said there'll be some standing here who shall not taste of death till they see the kingdom of the Most High. So, I mean, it can't be talking about. It can't be. It has to be talking about something spiritually. It can't be it's gonna be anything carnally because nobody lived, for 2,000 of years.
That's the answer. You just said it.
So he was speaking about the
Spiritual death?
spirit. Yahushua is speaking to you when you stand in front of somebody else. You're looking at the flesh, Nabiyah, but Nabiyah is the spirit.
Right.
So when Yahushua is talking to those people, he's looking straight at their spirit. But them, amongst themselves, looking at the physical flesh, that person as they know it. But Yahushua understands the spirit of those people. So he knows that the spirit will come back again, but not in the same physical shape form. So, as he makes his second coming, the same spirit, back then when he was speaking, the spirit will be seeing him. And then the light bulb will switch. It was like, that's what he was talking about. The light bulb will come in. You will remember that speech that he gave you way back in the day.